The Cowboys have blown out the Eagles, making Skip Bayless one of the happiest men on the planet right now. He's even out here releasing videos attempting to rile up Cowboy Nation and give them hope that they may be able to do something in the playoffs. Now, I expected the Cowboys to beat the Eagles coming into the game, even with as good as Jalen Hurts has been, because the Eagles' defense is extremely flawed and the weapons he has around him on offense are virtually non-existent. The Cowboys' trio of wide receivers and Andy Dalton just being somewhat competent equals a convincing win for the Cowboys. The win was expected. I think people should have expected the Cowboys to win, and the Cowboys fans should not just expect, due to the margin of victory in this win, that they're going to beat the Giants next week. The Cowboys still gave up 350 yards through the air, 150 yards on the ground, and the Eagles weren't able to put the ball in the end zone. It's not like they put on a defensive showcase. The Eagles defense is a bottom middle of the pack defense, and playing against the Giants next week is going to be a much different story for the Cowboys. Andy Dalton will be forced to make much more difficult reads against a significantly better secondary than the Eagles, and they're not going to get 150 yards of support on the ground against the Giants front seven. The Cowboys' depleted offensive line is not going to be mauling the Giants off the ball. Blake Martinez is going to be flying around making tackles. Overweight and disappointing Zeke will be disappointing once again. And now when it comes to the Giants side of things, it's not like I think they're some world beaters either. Their offense without the threat of Daniel Jones being able to run the ball is highly skeptical. At one point in this last game against the Ravens, he got sacked 3 times in a row because of how bad the Ravens knew the Giants' tackle play was, and because Daniel Jones wasn't able to move due to his hamstring has been reverted to Eli's mobility. They'll still be able to put up points against the Cowboys because of how bad their defense is, and I think the game is going to be much lower scoring than their other meeting this year, and with a score of around 21-14. I just don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to hang with the Giants defense.
Well, there's a little bit of a homer take. First things first, the assumption that the Cowboys won't be able to run the ball on the Giants is kind of comical when you look at what happened today. Even if you want to take out Lamar Jackson, who accounted for 80 rushing yards, the two Ravens running backs still combined for well over 150 yards. This team isn't invincible against the run. They are susceptible. Ezekiel Elliott, a top 10, maybe top 5 running back, will be able to easily exploit that. So I don't really agree with that. Giants do have a better secondary than the Eagles, but hey, most people do, particularly when your cornerbacks get hurt and have their arms fall apart. I see this game going a little bit differently for a few reasons, one of which would be the Giants have not beaten the Cowboys in going on 3 years after they lose this next week. Quite the impressive streak for a divisional rival. Gotta look at Daniel Jones' performance against the Cowboys. Even when they have a depleted defense, an injured defense, a defense falling apart, Daniel Jones struggles to find any success. And really, Daniel Jones is going to be the most important player in this game, whether it be for the Cowboys, helping them out with his turnovers and lackluster performance, or for the Giants, elevating his play enough to scrape them past a miserable defense. And while Daniel Jones is a very lacking quarterback, he can perform well on occasions against bottom tier defenses. Doesn't happen often, but it can happen. You have to look at his rookie year to really find those games, but I think he's probably got 1 or 2 more in him. I don't think this game is going to particularly matter that much, because regardless of who wins or loses this game, it will not matter in the playoff picture, because the Washington football team will be beating the Eagles in week 17 to secure the football team's first and maybe only playoff spot in franchise history before they change their name to the Red Tails or something. The Washington football team, terrible quarterback play. Dwayne Haskins struggled today. He's got a few issues going on, both the combination of the strip club video, then immediately leaving the team facility after the loss, didn't take a shower, just took his pads off, went home, didn't speak to the media. That's a little bit concerning. I hope he's doing all right. But the strength of that team is their front seven and is their defense. And that defense is going to be able to find success against the Cowboys' offensive line. Redskins, one of the best teams in the league at sacking the quarterback. That will probably be the difference maker. And I think they'll score about 10, 15 points maybe. And while that it would be enough with Dwayne Haskins at quarterback, there is a decent chance either Taylor Hinkie or Alex Smith will be leading that team. I think either of those two guys can give you at least 20 points in the Washington football system. I could be wrong, but I don't see this game going any other way than a Washington win pretty definitively.
Well, I just one quick thing you said about the Giants playing the Cowboys. Playing the Ravens rushing attack with the threat of the read option and Lamar to hold the ball rather than giving it to the running back takes the defender completely out of the play. So that's a completely different rushing defensive tack than having to just defend a mostly zone run scheme and straight ahead run scheme that the Cowboys have. So I think the Giants are able to defend that much better. The Giants also don't have have the best edge defenders, so that's why they weren't able to keep up with Lamar a large part of the time. But when it comes to Washington, they are a lost cause without Alex Smith. Dwayne Haskins belongs. He is on the island of broken toys. It's not just he doesn't belong there anymore. It is pathetic that Taylor Heinicke, is that Heinicke? I don't know how to pronounce it, came into play due to how bad Haskins was. He was playing the Panthers defense. The Panthers defense isn't all that elite. If Alex Smith is unable to play against the Eagles, I think Jalen Hurts dominates this game with his play on the field because the Washington will keep going with 3 and outs, eliminating themselves from playoff contention. I do not think Chase Young and their front 7 will be enough to lift their below average quarterback play to a playoff berth. I think Alex Smith not playing equals a guaranteed loss for Washington. If Alex Smith is able to play, if his calf injury isn't a major issue, I definitely could see Washington winning this game, playing a ball control game, the defense possibly dominating, but I think their offense is too incompetent without him leading the charge.
I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you on that. I mean, no one really knows what Taylor Heinicke has in him, obviously career backup type player. If he goes out there and humiliates the Eagles secondary, which is a real possibility, they'll win the game convincingly, but hey, Alex Smith is a guaranteed win. Or not guaranteed win, but a much better chance of winning.
Slides in Washington's favor if he's on the field. But that has been our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know who you think is going to be making the playoffs from the NFC East. It is hilarious that the worst division in NFL history is coming literally down to the last week. Subscribe, give us a like, and we'll see you in the next one.